Is the Gold Coast the most dangerous place in Australia? A spate of armed robberies and fatal shootings in the tourist city have police on the run, and residents are asking why the city has become so violent. Police are coming to the end of a month-long crime blitz called Operation Seymour, and Peter McCutcheon spent a night on the beat.
It's 11 o'clock on a Friday night at Surfers Paradise. And police officers are out clubbing.
The whole idea is we get our police out on the beat, in the clubs, importantly, all of the clubs. Every club in Surfers Paradise will see the police in there with high-vis vests on.
Hey, your name? Baz, the manager. Okay, 420.
There are more than 100 drinking spots within 2 square kilometres of this strip. And the place is teeming with police. Not a good time or place to go driving without a licence.
You're on your learners.
The high visibility of police on party nights is part of a Queensland Government Drink Safe program, introduced as a 2-year trial late last year. And the man overseeing this operation on the Glitter Strip is Superintendent Paul Zebath.
Everyone wants service to be safe. They want people to come in, enjoy themselves. They don't want the drunken element to go over the line and become offenders or perpetrators of crime.
But in the outer suburbs of the Gold Coast, policing takes on a different role. These officers are preparing for night shift in the Coomera district as part of Operation Seymour, a month-long blitz on serious crime involving 50 extra police.
And it's intelligence-driven patrolling where they look at our hotspots, whether it be breaking and entering, stealing, theft of motor vehicles. One of the things we are liking to do is visit all the areas that are normally targets for our robberies, which are soft targets, and going to them, visiting the store owners, ensuring that we are having aggressive patrolling. There has been a total of 336 offenders arrested and 510 charges.
Assistant Commissioner Paul Wilson explains the trigger for this blitz was a spike in armed robberies earlier this year. At one stage, there were 5 shootings and 3 deaths in just 7 weeks.
Copy that. Charlie 340 to BK. We need an ambulance code 1. An ambulance code 1.
The game changer was the fatal shooting of a police officer.
The death of Detective Senior Constable Leading was a blow to not only my staff but the wider community.
There were extraordinary scenes on the streets of the Gold Coast in June, as tens of thousands paid tribute to a fallen officer. And the effects of this tragedy are still being felt. What do you say to officers after something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? It's really, it's not a one answer possible to that question. Different people have suffered in different ways. We're obviously supporting Damien's family, and that will be ongoing.
Assistant Commissioner Wilson admits the spate of shootings has affected morale.
It certainly worries our staff that there's a lot of people armed with guns here. It's very serious, and our police have to be operationally aware in everything they do.
Since the shootings, Queensland Police have also set up Task Force Resolve, a specialist squad tackling violent and serious crime in this part of the state. Yet for all this flurry of activity and extra resources, Queensland Police deny the Gold Coast is becoming more dangerous.
Unfortunately, there has been shootings, but if you go back in the last several decades, you will find that this area, like any other capital city, and it is the 6th biggest city in Australia, that does have crime of this nature. And unfortunately, with the Gold Coast's international tourist identity and those crimes taking place, it does get a fair share of sometimes a little bit more publicity than it probably should.
How confident are you that this is not a sign that crime is actually increasing here?
Well, technically, the armed robbery rate of 2011 is the same of 2000.
The worry is that bad publicity will ultimately affect tourism and undermine the Gold Coast's image as a place for fun, even if it is sometimes with an edge. And Superintendent Zebath believes he's making progress in tackling drug and alcohol abuse. Perception is important given that this is a tourist city. From you on the ground, have you noticed any change the last year or so?
Look, the interesting thing about the Gold Coast is the sheer volume of people. We've got a large population, sixth biggest city, 4 million visitors a year. One of the key things for us is getting the community on board, and public perception is something we need to work on.
Peter McCutcheon on the Gold Coast.